Hello, everyone. Good evening and good afternoon and good morning if you're dialing from not from Asia. Thank you very much again to joining us this evening to spend time with us to share to discuss about a very interesting topic covering topics of many foreigners has been asking: Malaysia Premium Visa and banking solutions for foreign professionals and investor. So today, we are delighted to have Standard Chartered Bank with us to share about their support for our client under this Malaysia Premium Visa Program. So in today's webinar, we will be covering, of course, the Malaysia Premium Visa (PVIP) offer the long-term residency and lifestyle security for international investor and family like you, including the application process and the requirement. And thereafter, I will pass the floor to Standard Chartered, Mr. Vincent Bong. And of course, lastly, for the benefit of all the audience today, I will also briefly share about the comparison between Malaysia Premium Visa and Malaysia My Second Home. So before we begin, allow me to briefly introduce myself. My name is Chimi. I'm the presenter for today. I'm specialized in residency and citizenship planning for the past 10 years, advising high net worth individuals and family creating new opportunities abroad. And today, I will be looking forward to guide you through how Malaysia will be an interesting residency program and opportunity for you to come to Malaysia. So once again, thank you for joining us today. And of course, if you have any question during the whole webinar, please feel free to type your question in the chat box below. And me and my team will try our best to answer all the questions you might have. So, do you agree with me? The world is changing. If you look at the global landscape today, there is a clear shift happening. Most professionals and investors are no longer tied to one country. So they are actively thinking about diversification and where to live, where is the bank, and where to position their family. So, as a consultant for the past 10 years, in this industry, relocation today is not just no longer a lifestyle decision, it's a strategic one. So it's about um, our investor or clients are looking at the consideration with the rising of geopolitical uncertainties. I'm sure everyone's very concerned with the shocking news that recently affected many of our business owner and industry, especially those who are staying in Dubai. And it's actually creating another wake-up call to investor and family to think about residence planning is so important. Secondly, of course, with tax and regulatory shift, example in US, UK, and EU. So this is also another consideration. And of course, lastly, the demand for mobility and diversification, as what I mentioned earlier, created a lot of consideration that a lot of family members are looking at the diversification. So, allow me to share a little bit about the top global residency by investment available around the world. Obviously, Malaysia, we have two programs, PVIP and Malaysia My Second Home. Of course, the neighboring to us, Singapore Global Investor Visa, Global Investor Program, and Thailand Privilege Program, um, New Zealand Investor Plus, and of course, you're looking at the European region. We have Greece Golden Visa, Portugal Golden Visa, and lastly, of course, one of the very famous location is to UAE Golden Visa. And all of this visa that I mentioned here is all residency by investment, and purely that this is all the client are looking at relocation to some of these country by getting a residency in the country that they have rights to stay, they have rights to bring the family, and of course, they have rights to do business. So before we dive into the program about Premium Visa, allow me to take a moment to share with you about Malaysia for those who are new to us. And within this shift, as Asia continue to be a standout as a very dynamic country. And of course, Malaysia in particular offer very interesting balance. We have a relatively low cost of living compared to cities like Singapore, Hong Kong, and Dubai. So Malaysia, of course, is an environment where it's a strong English-speaking environment, and of course, it's a well-developed banking infrastructure. So it's become a very practical base to a lot of investor and international traveler. So with a mid-sized population, approximately to 34.1 million, and of course, the country enjoy a year-round tropical climax, warm sunny day, and of course, free from natural disaster. Therefore, Malaysia continue to attract a lot of various of nationalities all from around the world, from China, British, UK, European to retire in Malaysia. So for expatriate, Malaysia still continue to be the top ranked country, the most livable country in Asia, safe, affordable, and modern. Obviously, of course, is next well connected. So, what is this program are designed for? So, PVIP program is purely designed for individual, professional, entrepreneur, and family who are not just one more than just a residency. It's offer freedom to live in Malaysia, enjoy a world-class lifestyle, and of course to access to a wide range of opportunity from investment to education, healthcare, and many more. So let me just share with you who are we. So today we initiated this webinar. Our company is called My PR Program Sendran Berhad. It's a Malaysia private limited company, and we are the first licensed agent appointed by the Immigration Department to promote, consult, and process the PVIP application. So as you can see from the site, that is the copy of the license as appointed agent to run for this program. So what is Malaysia Premium Visa? So Malaysia Premium Visa is initiated in by the Malaysian government in 2022 by Immigration Department, and is offered 20 years residency visa to allow investor to have multiple entry to Malaysia without worrying over stay, of course, business opportunity and world-class healthcare and education. So let me just share why is it PVIP continue to be so attractive to a lot of investor. It is a 20 years visa residency, so meaning you have a 20 years residency to reside in Malaysia. And of course, this program is very interesting because there is no stay requirement as compared to some of the residency program available in other region. And under this program, there's no age restriction, meaning as long as you are able to fulfill the requirement, anyone at any age can apply for this visa. And of course, this application, you can include your spouse, parents, and children below 25. And the best part of this visa is you are allowed to work and to do business in Malaysia. So you don't need to worry about applying a work visa or employment permit to reside in Malaysia. And lastly, of course, attractive tax structure, which I don't need to mention much, because Malaysia offers a very favorable tax regime in Malaysia, and then we have basically a quite a reasonable personal income tax, no wealth tax, no capital gain tax, and of course no inheritance tax. Hence, this actually is a very attractive jurisdiction if you're considering for the tax planning. So, how to qualify this visa? I'm sure some of you dialing in today and you're curious to find how do you qualify and how does this visa work? So first of all, you have to prove you have a foreign income that's come to the amount of 40,000 ringgit, which is approximately 9,500 US dollar, or an annual income of 480,000 ringgit, which is approximately 115,000 US dollar. So once you have the and then you of course need to commit to put into an investment of 1 million ringgit, that is approximately 240,000 US dollar, into a local fixed deposit. account. And lastly, of course, you need to show you have a letter of good conduct from the country of citizen and residency. So this basically is a very straightforward application. As long as you are able to show your income and you are able to commit an investment in fixed deposit, and of course, a copy of your good conduct from your home country. So how can we help you? So this process, the application process, I will simplify that into two stages. First of all, you need to prepare the documentation preparation stage. Of course, just as what I mentioned earlier, so you have to show that you have income requirement, 40,000 ringgit income or 480,000 ringgit income. And of course, this income can be derived from employment income, investment income, dividend, and rental income. So before you get into the program, we usually will have a free consultation with you to ensure that you are qualified before you move into the actual application process. So once you have fulfilled the requirement, your application is ready for submission. Now, stage two is the application where once your application is approved, so you are required to visit to Malaysia for the visa endorsement, open a bank account to for the 1 million fixed deposit placement, a simple medical checkup. And of course, for those who are aged 60 years and below, so you're required to purchase a medical health insurance. Of course, you don't need to worry about the whole process. We are a team. We have a team here to assist you to complete the entire process application A to Z from the stage of assisting you for the documentation preparation, and secondly, to assist you for the bank account opening, medical check, and medical insurance. So again, if you have any question, just just type the chat box below, so my team will answer any question or any concern you might have. Now I can simplify this process into this timeline, expected timeline that a lot of you maybe will be wondering how long the whole process will take. So first of all, we will just conduct a free consultation with you to ensure that you are qualified for this application. So once you are qualified, then of course you will sign an engagement agreement with us and make a deposit for the payment. Um, Application. Then, of course, the next step we'll move on with preparation of application document, and it will approximately take about a month. Sometimes it will be 2 weeks, depending how fast your paperwork is ready. And once your application is ready to submit, so it will approximately take about 3 months for the decision from the government whether your application will be approved or rejected or further review. So once your application is approved, you'll be receiving a approval conditional letter, and then you have basically have to make arrangement to visit Malaysia for the bank account opening, medical checkup, and to purchase medical insurance. So it will approximately take about a week during your visit in Malaysia, and of course it will depends on case to case basis, depending on your nationality and how we can assist you on the for the bank account opening, medical check, and medical insurance. So once your application is ready, once your preparation of the three steps are ready, are completed, so then we'll move on to the visa endorsement. And once the visa endorsed, you can continue to stay in Malaysia or you can exit Malaysia anytime you like. Okay, so a simple document checklist here I would like to share with you. It's nothing complicated. So copy of your passport size photograph, a police clearance certificate from your home country, so recent 3 months or 12 months pay slip and or income slip, and of course it has to be accompanied with 3 months and 12 months bank statement, employment confirmation letter for those who are under employment, a recent tax return. If the application is accompanied by dependent, so you need to provide us a marriage certificate copy, if it's with spouse, and if it's would like to include your children and your parents in this application, so we need a copy of the birth certificate of them as well. So that is as simple as that. Of course, again, that of course any of our all the clients' application is depends on case to case basis. So usually we will have a consultation with you to run through your circumstances, especially on the income document, how we can assist you to qualify for the program. So I can see there are a few questions here, but I would like to leave it to at the end of the session to answer that. Of course, my team will help you out with the answering all those questions, which I will read it out later for the benefit for everyone in this webinar. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Vincent Bong, Head of International Banking and Family Office from Standard Chartered, to share more about banking facilities that Standard Chartered can offer to you. Over to you, Vincent.
All right, thank you very much, Jimmy. So, ladies and gentlemen, so my name is Vincent. I'm actually currently heading the International Banking and the Family Office in Standard Chartered Bank, Malaysia. Yeah, I think one of the very, very critical items, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that, you know, when you relocate is to have a local banking account that allows you to do, you know, a lot of things like payment of rental, or payment of payment of for the daily expenses. You know, this are the things that, you know, we as a global bank come in to actually to try to help you. So probably if you look at the very next slide, then you will notice that Standard Chartered Bank, we has actually been operating in Malaysia since 1875. We are not just we are not just one of the oldest bank in Malaysia, but in actual fact, we are the oldest bank in Malaysia. We started in Penang, and right now we are actually covering about 21 branches nationwide. 21 branches nationwide, and we are actually operating in over 54 markets globally as well. And if you were to look at the next slide, this is where we are presently located, from Greater China, North Asia, ASEAN, South Asia, and where our retail banking is actually located will be shown to you in the next slide, where you can actually see that, in over 23 markets. Probably the next slide, please. Yep, in slide 4, you'll notice that we are actually well presented in 23 wealth retail markets and 18 SME markets. So like what Jimmy was mentioning just now, right, I mean, through PVIP relocation, it might be personal and it might be, for your business as well. So that's where we can actually support you if you're setting up a company in Malaysia. Of course, if you look at the whole list, we are pretty much very well presented in Asia, in Middle East, and of course in Africa as well, and Europe as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is where we really come in as an international banking. Given that 23 markets that we are in, and we have offices in over 54 markets. So what do we do here is we not just coming in to set up a multi-currency account for you. If you were to look at the very, very first line, is that we are here to help you to set up a multi-country accounts, not just in Malaysia. In future, if there's a need that you will need a Singapore account and whatnot, that is where we can actually come in to help you. And of course, I think the very important thing for anyone to relocate to Malaysia is you need a relationship manager that can actually help you to manage your relationship and that speaks your local language. So I think that something that Jimmy pointed out, something about Malaysia is that most of our relationship managers do speak multiple languages, and we do have international relationship managers as well that actually who are very well versed with the global transaction, and they can give you the right advice that you need. And I think the most important, the other thing that's very important is the fee waiver for the international fund transfer. This is something that we are actually providing to all our customers here in Standard Chartered Bank Malaysia. So long as you're transferring through us to any of your overseas Standard Chartered Bank accounts, we practically waive all the fees. And I think the thing is, right, you'll be traveling a lot. I mean, given that you might be here for a month and probably another month in another. Yeah, we can go to the next one. No worries. Yeah. So I guess the the technology plays a very, very important role for you. So through our apps, I mean the SC mobile apps, so the Standard Chartered Bank mobile apps, or even through our online portal. So what you can do is there's a lot of things. Now, first, of course, smart stocks, where if you like, if you're doing global trading, access to 12 exchanges in 7 markets, that is where we are offering. And the real-time live FX, this is very important. 24/7, you can actually go to our web page, or even go to our apps, our mobile application, and that's where you can actually do your real-time live foreign exchange to be done. And once you're done, if you need to remit it, over 33 countries, we will do the remittance within the same day with zero remittance fee. And of course, the most important thing is it's accessible anytime, anyway. And the thing you'll probably be asking, I'm traveling, I'm moving around. How do I communicate with my RM that efficiently and seamlessly? I think this is where we have integrated. If you look at the next slide, this is something that we have actually integrated into our SC mobile apps as well. Just on the very, very, very next slide, it's called what we call the My RM. So My RM is a secure digital platform that connects you with your dedicated relationship manager and transact online via our SC mobile apps. So what are the things you can do, such as wealth transaction, if you want to do live FX, if you want to do a foreign exchange, you want to do a remittance, this is exactly what you can do. So the thing is, we're trying to build everything into the technology to make your relationship with the RM. It doesn't just limit to a face-to-face consultation, but anything beyond that, anything beyond the face-to-face, this is exactly where you can actually work on, your My RM, and that's exactly what we want you to, the convenience that we want to provide to you. And of course, as our priority client, if you look at the very next page, that is where some of the perks that you will enjoy. But I believe this will actually something that the relationship managers can take you through better once you become our privileged client. All right, that's pretty much about Standard Chartered Bank Malaysia and our services that we actually provide for the PVIP applicants. And there's still a lot of perks that we are giving. You can always reach out to me for more information.
Thank you, Vincent, for your introduction about Standard Chartered. I'm sure some of this, I'm sure today's audience are also curious to understand that how simple is it in terms of the client onboarding process to open a bank account with Standard Chartered. I hope you can share a little bit how is the process like.
Certainly. Now, so if we were to look at the very next page, right? I think one of the very important part is we literally we separate our onboarding into two phases. Now, one is the onboarding process when you are face to face in Malaysia. So if you look at the next day, so we actually pretty much work on two parts. Now, one is upon confirmation. I remember just a couple of slides before when you're presenting, right? There's one part where the confirmation of submission, the client might already have been in Malaysia, but the conditional approval letter might not be there. So to ease the transaction, what we're going to do is this. Now, so long as you're in Malaysia, once you have the confirmation of submission for a PVIP, you can actually proceed to our bank to open an account already. Now, the thing are pretty simple, all right? We just need your passport, your e-visa entry, your e-entry visa, or we call it MDAC, the confirmation of submission for PVIP, and we need a local residential proof. Now, the local residential proof here is not the Malaysia address, it's the address from where you are from. For example, if you are staying in UK, all right, so we'll probably need your national identity card, your driving license, bank statement, or just your utilities bill that will be that we can actually use it as the local residential proof. And of course, we need your full bank statements. I think these are pretty much documents that you have prepared for your application. It's just another set of documents for the bank. And of course, the account type, we will allow you to have a dollar and a ringgit account immediately. But the thing is, upon obtaining the conditional approval letter, we're still requiring the same document. So what is difference is that upon submission, we will have a restricted account. We allow deposits but no withdrawals. But upon obtaining the conditional approval letter, you can actually you can actually have a non-restricted account. And I think not only this, right? The other part that we can work on, if you remember, just a couple of slides ago, I was emphasizing about, we have a retail banking presence in over 23 countries, 23 markets. Now, what does that mean? The next one will actually comes in. Now, the next step will actually come in. If you are already our priority client in any of the 23 markets that we are in, for example, in Dubai. All right. So what we do is this. Now you can just talk to your relationship manager in Dubai, telling him or her that, hey, look, I need a Malaysia Standard Chartered bank account. Now the process can be as similar as you sign a form, the RM will send it to me, send it to us in Malaysia, and the Malaysia relationship manager will then call you to do all the onboarding. So the whole onboarding, including the forms, the documents, and all this, it will generally takes about less than about 2 weeks. All right, less than 2 weeks to get your account up. And there's no restriction to it. Your savings account, your term deposit, you have a fully functional accounts. And the best part is your debit card will actually be sent to your residential address as well, from where you're from. Documents wise, pretty much the same, except that you don't need you wouldn't need the entry visa, because we understand that you're not in Malaysia, so we can actually do this as a cross-border account opening. Even if you're in Hong Kong, Singapore, this is something that we can arrange for you as well. All right. So I hope that these particular two processes, I wouldn't say processes, but the convenience that we provide for our client will rather help you to settle down in Malaysia easier with your account ready, right before you come and stay for a longer term.
Yeah, excellent, Vincent. I believe because we also have a lot of good experience with Standard Chartered for some of our client it's already gotten the approval. They are very happy with the transition of opening account process. And of course, some of the client also would like to know whether in the event that if let's say they intend to purchase a property in Malaysia, does that Standard Chartered support for the mortgage as well?
Well, certainly, in actual fact, we are one of the very few banks that actually offer mortgage to foreigners in Malaysia. In particularly because that this is where we are, as a super connector. So, and the mortgage that we offer to in actual fact, is actually we give you a two-in-one account. So it's a mortgage plus a current account. So whenever you have additional fund, if you look at the next slide, whenever you have additional fund, you can always fund into the current account. And by doing that, that will actually reduce your interest by using your current account balance to offset against the principal loan amount. The other thing is, overpaying into the account, it doesn't hurt you, because you can actually have quick access, to the access cash via ATM or internet banking anytime. And of course, that will help you to pay off your loan faster. I guess this is just some of the very flexible think about our mortgage solution. But I think what is more important is this. Now, if you were to look at the very next page, right? The very next page is this. Our loan LTV, I think this is very important, up to 85%. Now we are one of we I would think that we are the highest in the market today. We actually launch you up to 85%. And if you are non-resident, that means if you are not taking a PVIP, we also give up to about 75%. But if you have a PVIP, we consider you as a resident of Malaysia. The loan can actually go up to 85% if you are our priority banking customers. But of course, the documents that we need, that will be much more. We will probably need annual income tax return, proof of payment. Again, if you notice, Jimmy, and ladies and gentlemen, these are the documents that you have been using to apply for your PVIP. So we can actually use exactly the same document to apply for the home for the mortgage as well. And if you declare you're working in Malaysia, then you probably need a valid work permit. But if you're under PVIP, we just need a documentary proof of the PVIP approval is required, which is the visa that is actually that's actually stick to your passport per se. All right. So this is just a very brief information about our mortgage, and of course about the account opening in
Yeah,
Malaysia. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Vincent. I guess this is very useful because a lot of our client also asking in case, they'll get like a mortgage support. I guess your brief introduction about how Standard Chartered can support all the international investor that coming into Malaysia that can get this assistance if they are, of course, a Standard Chartered client. Now, I
So
would like
the,
to move on to a $1 million question to you because a lot of client also ask me, hey, I put 1 million ringgit fixed deposit because of the government requirement. Does the 1 million ringgit fixed deposit account offer any interest rate? I think this is your expert to explain that what are the benefit of the fixed deposit rates that Standard Chartered can offer.
Yeah, I guess we get this question really a lot. You see, one of the thing about Standard Chartered Bank is that we tend we are always fair to every single client. So whatever rate that you can see on the welcome rates, right, is always on our website, which is sc.com/my. You can actually visit the website to see what is our most current the FD rate for Ringgit Malaysia. But what I actually want to highlight here is this. Now, in Standard Chartered Bank, we understand that once your fixed deposit is in with us, right? It's gonna be like the next 20 years, this 1 million is it's gonna be with us. So what our promises is this. Now next year during renewal, we will actually give you the best available rate because simply because you are from my PVIP, you are a client of my PVIP, and you are a priority client. So what we can do is this, next year when you do your renewal or subsequently when you do your renewal, whatever the best preferred rate that we can offer, we will offer it to you. All right. So the most current rate, the promotional rate, I think even if I were to give you today, I think in a couple of days it might change. It might change because I think that will actually depends on the interest rate environment that's going to happen. But what you can do is you can just log into sc.com/my and all the information will be there. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vincent. So for those that you have any question regarding the banking, so feel free to type the question below. Of course, Vincent is here. Of course, he can answer any question that you might want to know regarding Standard Chartered services and banking in Malaysia. And I would like to move on this presentation towards the almost ending on our presentation, and by sharing with you about the numbers that how many successful application that my PVIP has assisted since the day this program has been launched. The next slide. Yeah. So I would probably say that my PR program, we have actually have 100% approval rate. And as of now, the program has basically launched in 2022. So we have 240 approved application. And of course, this is based on number of application. Um, and the total application, if it's including the dependent, there'll be approximately 5 to 600. That's if it's including the dependent. Of course, I'll proudly say that we contributed the majority of the numbers shown here. And because we are the first licensed company that promote this Malaysia Premium Visa. Now, for those that would like to understand a little bit more about other program, for example, MM2H, I just want to quickly run through here for those that dialing in today for your reference that Malaysia My Second will just relaunch it last year and we come up with three types of categories: silver, gold, and platinum, with a visa validity of 5 years, 15 years, and 20 years respectively. Now, either any of the category that you are choosing, so the minimum application age is 25 years old and above. And of course, there are also mandatory requirement, yeah, to put a fixed deposit of 150,000 US dollar if you're selecting gold, sorry, silver, and gold is 500,000 US dollar and platinum is 1 million US dollar. And you need to purchase property in Malaysia. Silver is from 600,000, gold is 1 million, and platinum is 2 million ringgit. So apart from that, there will be also stay requirement of 90 days per annum. And bear in mind, silver and gold, you are not allowed to work or to do business in Malaysia, whereas platinum, so you have the option if you intend to work and to do business. So a lot of clients also will be consider what are the differences between platinum, MM2H and my Malaysia Premium Visa. So because we are the two licensed agent for both visa. So normally we will assess the client options and what are their intentions. So for those, for if you would like to just understand a little bit more about the differentiation between these two visa, if you can see here, in fact, these both visa offer the same visa validity of 20 years. And the only differentiation for PVIP, you just need to show that you have monthly or annual income requirement, whereas the MM2H Platinum, you don't have to. But if you're looking at the fixed deposit placement, there is a huge difference between 1 million ringgit fixed deposit versus 1 million US dollar fixed deposit. Okay. And of course, the other important point you have to take note is the property purchase. PVIP, you don't need to commit into a property at the beginning of the application, but for the MM2H Platinum, so you are required to commit a minimum property purchase worth 2 million ringgit. So stay requirement is also is very important for you to take note on that. Um, After all, this both visa allows you to work and invest to do business in Malaysia. So, okay, so that's the end of my presentation, and I believe there are a couple of questions that came in during our presentation. I would like to read it out for the benefit for all the audience today. For some of the questions that the audience asked. So I guess first question that this audience asked about fixed deposit placement. Does it come in the currency, ringgit, or interest? I guess Vincent just now already answered earlier. So of course you will have the fixed deposit, sorry, the interest rate earned in the fixed deposit placement. And so under the PVIP, the fixed deposit must place in ringgit Malaysia only. Okay. So the next question, so will a PVIP visa holder receive a 20 years visa from the start, or will the visa will be limited to 5 years and based on passport validity? Yeah, very good question. So because of this visa is 20 years visa, so you will only get the 5 years visa, and you will be renewed every 5 years. So this is actually Malaysia immigration policy that you will get every 5 years extension thereafter. Okay. Then, um, okay, so the next question is if it's possible to do a medical exam in my home country. So because the medical examination, you are only do it after the approval. So somehow you have to come to Malaysia to complete the process. So you don't need to worry about examination from your home country, because this is part of our service to assist you to bring you to the clinic to get the medical assessment done. Okay. Okay, so there is a question regarding MM2H. Sorry, let me just check if there is another question. The last one. Sorry, I missed out the other one. Um, okay, so this is also another question by one of the audience. Does the deposit has to be with Standard Chartered or with any other bank? So technically, because under the PVIP, of course, you can bank with any other bank, but of course, we have the opportunity today to have Standard Chartered to share with you on the banking services, and of course, we will assist you to open any bank that you wish to place your fixed deposit with. Okay, so the next question is about Malaysia, my second home visa, particularly on this special economic zone. So I would take it offline for this question. for this audience, Mr. Khalid. So feel free to connect with me. Of course, my colleague already answered that. Of course, we are happy to arrange a separate discussion with you if you wish to if you wish to discuss for this MM2H SEZ category. Um, okay. Then the next question is, as a PVIP visa holder, can I receive a form of physical or electrical Malaysian ID card? So at the moment, the PVIP visa is in a sticker form that sticks to your uh, passport. So we are actually in the midst of speaking to the Malaysian government to issue a Malaysia some sort of ID card. So hopefully this will be coming out very soon. Okay, another question. Is it possible to add children over 25 as well as a parent? So under the PVIP rules, I guess I already shared in my presentation slide earlier. So the PVIP can only include your children dependent below 25 years old only. Okay. However, of course, you can include your parents, both side, whether for your own parents or your wife parents, to be part of your application. Okay, so another question that this audience asks about, can you work remotely under silver and gold? Yeah. So even though the silver and gold are not allowed to work in Malaysia, but of course you are allowed to work remotely outside of Malaysia as long as it's not in Malaysia employment. So you can stay in Malaysia anytime you like, as long as you were able to meet the requirement of 90 days stay, while you can maintain your remote work outside of Malaysia. Okay, so another question by this audience. So if I purchase a property, do I still need to put a fixed deposit? Under the MM2H, sorry, I'm not too sure. Are you asking for PVIP question or MM2H? If you are applying under the PVIP, so there is no requirement to purchase property, but it is a mandatory requirement to put the fixed deposit placement. But if you are asking about for MM2H, so basically you have to commit into two requirement, property purchase and fixed deposit as well, depending on the tier. There you go. There's the slide showing here. So could the PVIP status be affected if I decided to renounce my current EU nationality, get a citizenship in another country, such as Botswana, Argentina? Um, okay, again, this question is basically when you apply your application under your EU national passport, a citizen. So what if you renounce and you get another passport? So you have to update us so that we can advise you to to get the application updated to a new passport. As long as your the new citizenship that you're currently holding, sorry, your new citizenship that you are holding is not under sanction list. Okay. Okay, back to this question. Once I get the MM2H or PVIP, I can travel outside Malaysia. Is there any duration limit, such as 6 months, etc., to come back to Malaysia to keep the visa? So again, both visa, there's you can stay as long as you want, or you can exit Malaysia as long as you want. So the only condition that you have to be aware of is the especially Malaysia, my second home. So you just need to maintain the number of days stay in Malaysia, which is 90 days a year. So you can exit anytime or come back anytime in Malaysia, as long as you were able to maintain the 90 days stay, so that you will not be affected by your next visa extension. Okay, so I guess that's all the question that I have for now. So if you still have any question um, regarding the program PVIP, MM2H, or banking, um, we are still here for another next couple of minutes. Okay, so Um, I have answered most of the question in the chat box. So if you still have any question while we are here, we are okay. So this is the same question. I guess you are referring on the Malaysia passport matter. Again, like I say, there is no direct regulation or procedure that how to apply for Malaysia passport. So this is based on case to case basis. Of course, there are a lot of scenario whereby if you are living in Malaysia and you're married to a local, so possibly you can apply for Malaysia passport. But then again, is this is not really a um, procedure that's set by the government um, that how you can actually convert in to get a Malaysia passport. Okay, so another question I can see here is I'm considering to form a company in Malaysia and employ myself in the company in order to have a stronger fiscal tie to Malaysia. Would it be possible with the PVIP assume? Um, Actually, if you so under the PVIP application is because you have freedom to set up a company or under employment. So once you have applied for the PVIP and you received approval, it's up to you. Of course, you have the option to set up the company in Malaysia. So any more question? Okay, so thank you very much for everyone, and I hope this webinar is insightful. And of course, if you wish to explore further for this program for PVIP or MM2H, feel free to reach out to me. Um, you can email to me at the cm@mypvip.com. And of course, we will send you the presentation slide today, along with Standard Chartered presentation slide for your reference. So if you have any question, of course, we will arrange a one-to-one session for a free consultation. So on behalf of the company, once again, thank you and have a wonderful evening. Thank you and take care.